Hey everybody, welcome to the live stream. I'll give everybody a few moments to join us. Doing a live stream a little bit later today. We're going to see how this goes. Another Q&A live stream, which I always enjoy, and many of you guys have told me that you enjoy it. SPC Indianapolis and Ruskin 876, you are the very first one here, or at least the first one to comment. Tyler Caswell, nice to see you. I'm doing well. Black Sun, nice to see you. Ash Juice Cardboard, you're here but you'll be lurking, which is totally fine. Emery, what time is it over there? It must be almost morning, and if it's not morning already, you're either up very early or you're going to bed extremely late. Not sure which. SPC, no problem. I can just say SPC. So as everybody kind of rolls in, this is just going to be a Q&A live stream. I always enjoy those. I enjoy getting on other YouTubers' live streams that are like this, and many of you all have told me that you enjoy these. I'm going to say hello to everybody. I'm going to do my best this time to read more chat messages. Every time I do this, I get a little bit better at it, because when I started on YouTube, it was just strictly recording, pre-recorded videos, but I've gotten into the live stream lately, as you all know. All right, let's see. Emery with the Euro donation already. Not even a minute in. I appreciate it, Emery. I've enjoyed having you on the channel and giving us your German perspective on things. So let me read some other messages, including that one. So, Jace Harmon, nice to see you. Dan Graff says hello. Kaimani Burrell, he's getting to be a legend on the channel. By the way, Kaimani, I just finished sending to the editors, not Bitter Work. I just uploaded Bitter Work, and it's in the copyright process right now. The Sokka's master, I just sent that to the editors, so it should be done soon. I'm doing well. I hope you're doing well, Kaimani. Cute Central is here. Hensel Host says hello. DeLuna Art Studios left my son during his swimming lesson. That doesn't sound good. Once I got his notification, of course he's joking. Tyler Caswell, here's a fun question. Who's your favorite character in the show Ned's Declassified? People ask that a lot. I have favorites. I don't have a favorite. Seth's a favorite. Mr. Wright is a favorite, although I haven't seen him in a long time. Who else? I like Seth. I don't know why. I just like him. He's sort of the Patrick Star of Ned's Declassified. Claire Sawyer, future lawyer. I like her too. Someone told me I don't think I'll see her again on the episodes I haven't done yet. So those are my favorites. Emery, once again, thank you for the €1 donation. I really appreciate the contribution. Ricky Rax, nice to see you. Hopefully this time is a little easier for you to get on over there in California. Henry Sullivan, it's 8:25 here in Florida. It's 8:25 here in Georgia as well. The Vidiots, nice to see you. Got some new users here. I'm trying to figure out which time is the best for live streams. I'm thinking this later time may work for the most people because on the West Coast, they're 3 hours behind us. All right, By Pilots here, the Vidiots. Yep, you finally made it. Stephen Turquoise, Principal React superfan. Just woke up from a nap. Happy you're live streaming. I'm always super bored after I get out of my weekday job. Sorry to hear that. Rolling Thunder, does your school have a football team? Yes. You can't be a school in the southern United States without having a football team. So, yes, they do, because nearly all of them do. That's just the way it is. I was thinking of posting, and I think I will post next week. There's a photo out there, and it's been a few years, so I don't mind posting it, where if you know what homecoming is in the U.S., a lot of schools are doing homecomings right now, and there's a photo I found the other day from a few years ago where it's me and a group of teachers from a school that I'm not at anymore, so I'm not worried about that, but we're all wearing a costume like for homecoming dress-up days, and I'd completely forgotten about it. Mine is like a Jedi Knight from like episodes 1 through 3 of Star Wars, like in the brown cloak and everything, and with the beard. My beard was a little longer at that time too, so it goes really good. I'll have to share that with you all. Okay, let me go through. Okay, I'm getting way behind. Let me read some messages here. And I'm not going to do reaction this time. I'm just going to go through these messages so I can try to read them all. Okay. Emery says it's 2:25 in Germany. Yeah, that figured it was probably pretty late there. When I went there, I think it was like either 6 hours or 8 hours ahead of the Eastern U.S. Dan Graff, are you going to do a compilation video of all the Ned's potential firings? I want to, and I don't care if it's a long video. The issue with that is, Dan, that it's going to take a long time to do that. Think about it. You have to go through every single video and clip every single potential firing or whatever. Young Citrus, favorite instrument you have played? Trombone and alto saxophone tend to be my favorites. Also piano. Daniel Matt Davenroy says hi. Anna Waymeyer says hi. Miss T says hello. Hello, Miss T, to you. I'm calling you out. Stephen Turquoise says, I can't wait until Sunday for our new School Principal reaction to the Ned's episode fundraising. Yeah, Stephen, you are clearly a Ned super fan. I don't know what we're going to do, buddy, when Ned's is over. We're going to have to find a new show, won't we? Mark Page, this week is Bubble Stand. Yeah, tomorrow, in fact, less than 24 hours now. If you're not a channel member, you will get Bubble Stand. That was a pretty good one. By Pilot, the kid will be fine. He won't drown. Yeah, that you're talking about DeLuna Art Studios. SPC, have you watched the SpongeBob episode Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 5? I haven't. All of the Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy episodes are on my list, but so far I've only seen 3, which was hilarious because of the whole Patrick, that's not my wallet. Like, he walks him through step by step in the logical kind of thought process of, this is your ID, right? Right. And it's in this wallet, right? Right. So this must be your wallet, right? So here you go. That's not my wallet. It's just wonderful, isn't it? Okay, let's see. And I'd have my chat in a separate window, and it's really big, so I won't lose my place and waste time. Ash Juice Cardboard, the new spinoff of The Office called The Paper, has a main character of Ned as well. That's really interesting. Tyler Caswell, I like Cookie. I wish I had his glasses. Okay. Larry Jester, any advice for someone who would want to do something similar to what you do on here? If you mean reaction videos, just try to be different. That was half the reason why I started the channel, is because a reaction video channel of a principal doing that about school scenes did not exist. It literally did not exist. But you've got like 1,000 different reactors out there, just sort of random people that react to stuff. So what you have to do is think, how am I going to be different? Like, why would people watch me and not them? And once you answer that question, you'll be a lot better off. SPC, it's a really funny episode, bad grammar. Yeah, I see your correction. No problem. Kaimani, that's amazing. I hope there isn't any issue with the Avatar videos. I don't think the studio is tight like that. And there's another donation. I'm going to skip down to it. Whenever we get a donation, I'll skip to that message. Such a Turd, 2010, that's their name, donated $4.99. I really appreciate it. And they say, I bet if you asked, the Ned's Declassified podcast would have you on in a heartbeat. I think I put a comment on their channel before. I don't know how much they read comments. Some YouTubers, I really try to read every single comment, and there may come a day when I can't. But so far, I've been able to just barely keep up. And some YouTubers don't even try. They don't even answer any comments. And they curse a lot. A lot. So I don't know if I agreed to go on, I would have to say, can you please not curse on this one? I don't want to have me on there while you're cursing. Thank you once again, Such a Turd 2010, for the $4.99 donation. I really appreciate the contribution. So for all those donations, I'm going to skip straight to your message, and I'm going to try to read every single one no matter what. Okay, let's see. So I answered Larry Jester's question. I was reading Kaimani's comment about Avatar. So far, so good. I mean, they allowed the headband without much of an issue. So, and that's part of the reason why I skip certain parts. Like on Bitter Work, I was watching that one again today to make sure it was ready to go live once it gets through copyright. And I cut certain scenes that were not like him learning how to earthbend. And so as long as I don't put the whole thing on there, it tends to be okay. And as long as I comment enough, I've shared with you all before, there are channels out there where the reactor, if you want to call them that, just literally stares at the screen. They just stare at it. They don't say anything. They don't really add to it at all. They just stare at it. And so that's why we have the copyright issues that we have in the reaction video world. Okay. Joshua V says, good evening. Bipilot says, watched Bubble Stand reaction 12 times. That's pretty impressive. Marbles Ryan, did someone order marbles? Okay, he's here. He's a legend. He's the longest running channel member on the channel of all the 150 or so channel members. Railcam, what's your thoughts on Charlie Kirk? And I'm not going to get political. I'll only say that violence like that is really horrible and really evil, really, if you want to know the truth. So any sort of violence like that is awful, no matter who it is. Bipilot, ain't Georgia just north of Florida? Yes, it certainly is. Marbles Ryan, hello, sir. Mr. Junior's here. Legend on the channel. SPC, one of my favorites, commenting on their comment. Anna Waymeyer, also a legend on the channel. If you I don't think you've seen my request for the movie Wolf Children. I actually did. However, not a whole lot of people are recommending it. So I would need some other people to also recommend it for me to do it. Josie says, hi, if you watch family-friendly shows, you should watch Weak Hero and All of Us Are Dead plus Miraculous. You know, early on in the channel, I did an episode of Miraculous. It was an episode called Derision, which is where the main character gets bullied pretty badly. And at the time, I wasn't real familiar with the copyright process, and it got in a bunch of copyright issues. And now I think I could do it because I know enough about how to do it correctly. And it's a French company that owns Miraculous, and they just would not let me do the video. So I'll have to come back to it someday. Sadly, I don't have the footage anymore from that original reaction. Okay, Ricky Rax, 528. Yep, 3 hours difference. I hope all is well over there at your school. DeLuna Art Studios, that's how I learned to swim. The whole, if you mean like throw them in and hope for the best, that's not exactly the best method, but okay. Marbles Ryan, yay football. Bipilot, a football team is a requirement for all American high schools. Yeah, nearly all of them. I have served at one school in the past that didn't really do it, but that's because they were more of an arts school. They did have sports, just not football. Ricky Rax, how far are you from Season 3 of Ned's? I will tell you right now, looking at my phone here, the last one I did it just the other day, was Money and Parties, both of which were pretty crazy. Okay, and I see is there another donation? Yes, Kaimani Burrell, channel legend and principal's office level member, gifted a membership, which was received by Larry Jester. I think that's a fine choice by the totally random YouTube random gift subscription giver. So thank you, Kaimani, for gifting that membership. I'm sure Larry Jester appreciates it, and I think it's Hall Pass, so that gets you a little bit, gets you into the Discord, gets you some of the members only stuff, videos, but not all of them. A lot of it's honor roll level. Okay, so Ricky Rax, hopefully that answers your question. I just finished doing the episode Parties, which was pretty crazy, and that's where I'm at. Marbles Ryan, I love football. And by the way, thank you, mods. We've got several mods in here. Thank you for helping me out. High Honors Jacob, have you ever heard of Watch Cartoons Online? I think you asked that last time, or someone else did. I'm not familiar with it. Mr. Inspective, channel member, what is your favorite memory from your experience as a principal? I was a principal for 4 years. I was an assistant principal for 5. I have a lot of memories. Favorite memories? Actually, it's one I talked about. If you've seen the Julia Boateng video that I collabed with her on, check it out if you haven't seen it. Check out my community post for the link to it. I shared a memory on there about a kid at the end of the year last year who had really gotten in a lot of trouble and had came up to me at graduation. He wasn't graduating right then, but he was at graduation, and he told me about how he enlisted in the Army and wanted to and signed up to be a combat medic, and he seemed so excited about it, and I was happy for him because he had tried a lot of other things that just didn't quite work for him. Daniel Matt Davenroy, do you know when you're doing the next iCarly? I do have some iCarly still left to do. I have a list of stuff. I do like iCarly. It's one of my favorites. I have I Dream of Dance, IQ, I Neville, I Rue the Day. There's a few of them that I have on a list here that people have suggested. So I don't know when, but we'll get there eventually. Rolling Thunder, do you coach any school sports or did you? No, unless you include band. I mean, I was a band director for a long time. So being the band director, it's similar in that you have to go to all the football games and it's just a lot of time. Let's see. Kaimani, that's interesting. My school didn't have a football team in NYC. Yeah, and if you went to school in NYC, I mean, it's like where are you gonna practice? And that was kind of the case with my art school that didn't have a team. They didn't have a field. They had a gym, but they didn't have like a football field because they were kind of in a city, and it just wasn't possible. J Cell, nice to see you. Wendy Indy. Yeah, I'll post that picture of me in a Jedi suit. Do I have a favorite Star Wars character? Favorite Star Wars character? I'm just going through them in my head. I don't even know. I don't know. Maybe I don't know, actually. I'd have to think about it. I don't feel real strongly about any of them. I'll have to come back to that one. Maybe Obi-Wan, the old Obi-Wan. Oh, he was all right. Okay, let's see. J Cell says 8:28 a.m. here in the Philippines. I like all my international viewers and their perspectives that they bring. So thanks for tuning in this morning for you, evening for us. Tyler Caswell, what do you teach? Well, the channel is called School Principal Reacts, so I don't teach anymore, but when I did teach, I taught music education. Buy Pilot, as long as it takes. Emery, I'm very excited because Nintendo will present some new games on the Nintendo Direct live stream. That sounds really cool. Marbles Ryan says, don't make me do my job. Okay. Dan Graff says, I'm not sure you're aware of this, but the Stars of Ned have their own podcast. I am aware of it, and I have checked it out, but they cuss like every second. They curse like every second, and I sort of turned it off after a minute because I don't like profanity to begin with, and they cuss all the time. The Vidiot says, I'm from PA. My kids actually go to private school. Love seeing your takes on shows and other school ideas and such. Nice to hear your feedback. I appreciate it. Pennsylvania. Kaimani says that potential firing type of compilation sounds like a great end of the year video. Yep, I'm all for it. By Pilot says, I'm a SpongeBob superfan. That's why you've watched that one so many times. Ash Choose Cardboard, upload a 10-hour video of you saying potential firing. I don't know, man. I mean, that might get some unsubscribed people if I do that. I would find that kind of annoying. I don't know. Marbles Ryan, I'm the resident brony. Jacob H says, I think I've seen you in another channel stream before. Okay. By Pilot says, it's Giraffe. By Pilot says, what channel? Jacob H says, your name just looks familiar. Emiliano Brito says, hola. Dagon Dinigan says, will you do the reaction of the 1989 film Dead Poet Society? Yes. I saw part of it back in the day, but the only thing I remember about it is the kids standing up on their desks, and I remember sort of a tragic event that happens toward the end of the movie. That's it. I don't remember the specifics. I know Robin Williams is in it, and I remember the kids stand on the desks, but I'll have to come back to it. Mark Page, I believe you found Krusty Towers funny. Yeah, Krusty Towers is like my all-time favorite. Such a turd. Thanks again for the donation. Sir Goth Nerd 2 for or for front of the class, it's about a Georgia teacher with Tourette's. You said turrets. I'm assuming you meant Tourette's syndrome. That would be interesting. J-Cell, I can't remember if you reacted to this episode or not. Have you reacted to the Great Snail Race? I have not reacted to that, so I'd love to take a look if it has a lot of interest. Salty06, a.k.a. I can't remember your Discord name at the moment. Yeah, I just saw it too. There's too many names. But Salty, nice to see you. Ash Juice Cardboard. My favorite scene in SpongeBob history is when Patrick is checking into the Krusty Towers, and he says, I didn't know there was going to be a test. Yeah, that was pretty funny. I agree. We shall fulfill even the most ridiculous request. I remember that. Jacob says, I really wish your SpongeBob movie could be public. Yeah, sorry about that. You can thank Paramount once again. John Smith, I've tried to get their attention. Michael Recucutioner, channel member, says, hello, Brandon. Hello, Michael. Jeremy Holbein, what is your favorite SpongeBob episode? It is Krusty Towers. Steven, and we got another donation, so I'm going to skip down. I'm going to skip down to where it is. Spike Bebop, $9.99 contribution to the channel. I really appreciate it, Spike Bebop. He says, I remember in the latest Ned's Declassified, Cookie spent a lot of money, and he was going to have a bill. He said, I'll put it on the card. Met any students that were irresponsible with their money? Yes, but I've never seen too many students with a credit card. Rarely I have seen that. More so with athletes, because student athletes do have to travel out of town, and sometimes the coaches will stop at like a convenience store or a McDonald's or something like that and let them buy things, and some parents do let them use their credit card. But he was going really crazy with that credit card, and he said, I'll just put it on the card. I haven't seen students that are quite that irresponsible with money. Spike Bebop, thank you again for the donation, the contribution. I'm going to try and skip to those as they come in. But let me go back to the other comments. I'm going to try to go a little faster, especially on the short ones. But I know what it's like to be on a live stream and comment and then not have your comment read. And we've got 72 people in here. Okay. We've got another one there. Channel legend Kaimani Burrell, legend of the channel and principal's office level member. Kaimani says, I'd always usually stick to the avatar suggestions, with the current season being the Puppet Master, but I was wondering, given it's Halloween season, would you also check out Monsters University? Yeah, several people have said that, and I think it's a great idea. I'm going to take a quick photo of your comment so that I won't forget about it, which I tend to do. But yeah, Kaimani, that's a great idea. A few other people have mentioned it as well. Movies are sometimes hard. If it is a movie that I'm going to try and react to the whole thing, I usually have to break it up into parts, or it ends up becoming a members only. I'm going to try and stick to like the school scenes, if you want to call it that, where they're learning, quote unquote, so that maybe it will be able to be public. Okay, thanks again, Kaimani, for the $10 donation. I really appreciate it. Let me scroll back up to where I was at, if I can even find it. Okay, I'm almost there. Let's see. Okay. Stephen Turquoise. Instead of doing a firings compilation, it'd be easier if I gave you a documented list of all the potential firings. If you were willing to do that, yeah, that could happen. But I would have to know like what video it was in and like where it is in the video in order to put that together. But yeah, I can do that. That would make it a little bit easier for me to do. I know you've been keeping track of all of them, which is kind of insane in a good way. Okay, by pilot, Principal Reacts was created, summarized. Fine, I'll do it myself. Yeah, that's correct. Hensel Holtz, the Ned's cast doesn't read comments. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Marbles Ryan, folks, let's not. Yeah, thank you, mods. Yeah, and Jacob, I don't do cursing on the channel, so I don't allow it in the chat. John Smith, I've tried to tell the Neds podcast about you. Yeah, and I think they have a few 100,000 subscribers, so they may. Some channels just don't read comments. They don't, unfortunately. And I know even some really, really big channels that do read comments, at least some of them, every time. Mr. Knuckles, happy Thursday evening. Mark Page, can we thank Paramount Plus for SpongeBob movie issue? Yes. Sir Goth Nerd 2, are you trying to think of any shows to replace Neds? Yeah, I'm going to have to grapple with that over the next couple of months. By Pilot, it's fair use. Spunky Aquarius, hey Brandon. Ryan Skalman, hey there Brandon. Ryan is a channel member. Big Guys 45s, hello, hello. The Book of Dark says, hello there, Principal Reacts. Has been 24 years since 9/11. Yeah, that's correct. Today is 9/11, September 11th. I do remember, everybody always says, like, where were you on 9/11? 24 years ago. Some of you might not have been alive at that time, or some of you may have just been very small. Me, I was a freshman in college at that time, and I remember it vividly, as most people do. So I was riding home from a class, and I was in my car, and it happened while we were in class, but we had no way of knowing that. You didn't have social media at the same level that you do now, and so you're not going to get, like, notifications on your phone. So I was on the way home, and I heard on the radio, and I heard what they said. I'm like, no way this is real, right? I was just sort of stunned, and I just sort of listened to it in silence on the way home, and then when I got home, I was able to read and kind of watch live news reports about it. Midnight Kitten, good evening all. I will try to watch, channel member. By Pilot, Delicious Marbles, Big Guy 45, American school systems need to require more life skills. Yeah, we're trying to sort of reverse that and include more of those, especially in electives and CTAE courses. Tyler Caswell, you should watch the bloopers on Neds. Hensel Host says, Reaction Tea Time is a perfect example of just staring at a screen on video. Yeah, it's really awful because it ruins it for the rest of us. Salty06, I know it's a crazy news day, but let's not get into politics. Yeah, I agree. I agree on that. Anna Waymeyer, it's really sad what happened. Agree. Spunky Aquarius, I love your SpongeBob reactions. Can't wait to see Bubble Stand. Yep, tomorrow is the day. Hank the Tank, hello, Brandon. And thanks for being here, Hank. Thanks for being such an active part of the channel. Ash Choose Cardboard, do you support the Bulldogs? Watch their games. I don't. A lot of people in Georgia do. You can't go very far in Georgia without seeing a bulldog or a red logo, or it's like a black and white letter G. I'm not anti-UGA. UGA is a really, really good school as far as academics, but as far as sports, I just don't follow it. I'm not for or against. Let's see. Mark Page, RIP 9/11 victims. Yeah, indeed. Marbles, Ryan, I'm a Longhorns fan myself. By Pilot, in my government class, the teacher had a competition with an online quiz to identify all 50 states. Oh, yeah, I remember you saying something about that. Jacob says, when will you watch Sandy's introduction episode, Tea at the Tree Dome? I will. A lot of people have asked for that. I will do that. Dan Graff, when I was in school, we would always watch Bill Nye the Science Guy. Yeah, me as well. Excuse me. I know a lot of schools that did not do that anymore. What's your opinion on that and why teachers would play it? As long as it's standards-based and kids are learning, that's the main thing. I don't have a great opinion of Bill Nye the Science Guy for a bunch of reasons, but the show was good. I remember being entertained, and I remember some of the stuff that he talked about because it was entertaining. But he's more an actor than a scientist. So let's see. Sorry, I lost my place for a minute. Oh man, hold on. It scrolled down without me telling it to. Okay, I found it. Thanks again, Kaimani, for the donation. Clayton Moore, good evening. Atlanta, Georgia. I never said I was in Atlanta, but I did say it was in Georgia. How was work today? Work was great. Jacob, you need to watch the character introduction episodes. And we've got another donation. We've got a donation from William Armstrong, a.k.a. Flamethrower the Wolf. That is a long name. William says, "Hi, Brandon. Are you still planning to react to Victorious? I love your videos, by the way." I am still planning on it. I don't know if I'll do the whole entire series, but I think it is good enough to where I can definitely pick some episodes out. And I used to work at a school that was a lot like the school in Victoria, so I'm going to have a lot to comment about with that school. So William Armstrong, a.k.a. Flamethrower the Wolf, thanks again for the $5 donation to the channel. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate your question about Victorious. Okay, I was right back up here with Hank the Tank. What new series do you look forward to reacting to the most? Actually, My Little Pony. I'm looking forward to doing a few more of those, and then also some of the new ones that I've never done before. It's always exciting to do a new series, and then sometimes, like if I do something I've never done before, sometimes it doesn't get any views, and then sometimes it just takes off. That's what happened with Gumball and My Little Pony. So I'm kind of wondering what will happen with these new ones. Okay, Michael Reccutioner, do you have any plans to go back to Disney's Recess? I do. It's just I'm going to have to either get more time to make content or stop doing Ned's and then do something else or some Recess on Tuesday. I'm not sure. Key says hello, channel member. Larry Jester, brand new channel member. Thanks for the membership. Damian Flores, do you think you would ever do any Persona? I've heard it's sort of bad, so probably not. Midnight Kitten, thank you, mods. Mr. Junior, I'm a big fan of Persona 4. Daniel Matt Davenroy, what season are you on iCarly? I'm not on a season because I just skipped around and did whatever episodes that people recommended. Salty06, it looks like you're in a hotel room. Yeah, some of these have been. You're right about that. Sir Goth Nerd 2, if you want to do a movie after Max, do Here Comes the Boom. It's about a history teacher. Okay. Jacob says, oh, there's another Jacob here. I thought he was replying to me. Turner Winstead, do you think you'll do Scooby-Doo in the Ghoul School? I think either you or someone else said that the other day, so it's possible. Especially if other people recommend it. BC Runch, or B Crunch, ever watch Wonder Years? No, I've heard of it, but no, actually. High Honors Jacob, I actually asked, will you search that up one day? I assume you mean one of the previous suggestions. Hank the Tank, hopes and prayers for that kid. War is tough. Thoughts and prayers. Ricky Rax, what movies are you going to react to next? Ricky, I've got a list of them. I don't know, honestly. It might end up being Monsters University, just because of the timing. Zen Tordo, if you didn't get the job in the field of education or music, what other line of work would you have seen yourself doing? Maybe an attorney. Actually like studying the law. As an administrator, every single administrator, at least here and in other states it may be the case, takes a course in school law, and you learn a lot of laws and a lot of Supreme Court laws and how that process works, laws that have to do with education, such as, let's see if I can name them. You've got Tinker versus Des Moines, which is kind of the big one that happened during the Vietnam era, and then you had Bethel versus Frazier, which was about school censorship. Some kid said a bunch of really bad stuff during a speech. The school censored it, and he sued, but the school won in the Supreme Court. There's the Kohlmeyer case, which has to do with censorship in like school newspapers. There's a bunch of them that you have to learn. So, VKA, will you ever go back to reacting to Gumball? Most definitely. Sir Goth Nerd 2, have you ever watched Head of the Class? I have not. Damian Flores, it's a mature series. Yeah, and if it is, I'm just not going to be able to do it. Bipilot, band is the sport of music. It is very athletic. You do have to move around a lot. Sir Goth Nerd, it's about honor rolls, high school class. Ricky Rax, by the way, I like your reaction to Max Keeble. I appreciate it very much. That was a good one. I enjoyed doing that one too. Bipilot, it would be cool to see him play Persona 5, but yeah, if it's in any way got some iffy content, I'm not going to do it. VKA, will you ever go back to Gumball. You said that already. High honors. I do remember suggesting Average Jeff from Clarence. A lot of people have mentioned Clarence, and it's starting to get to the point where I'm going to have to eventually take a look at it. Ricky Rex, I wish you didn't have to skip so many scenes. I did watch the full movie. Yeah, it's just the cost of doing business. There are very few things that I can just react to the whole entire thing without cutting anything due to copyright issues. Salty, me and my guitar class in 12th grade got to play with the marching band. That's pretty cool. Rolling Thunder, can the principal of school coach a school sport if they wanted to? I've seen it done in real life. It's pretty rare. The reason that it's rare is not really because it's like against some rule. It's just both of those jobs have a lot of responsibility. Like if you're principal of a school, I think I would go crazy if I had to also coach a sport or be like the band director at the same time. I think it would stress a person out too much. I have seen it before. I've seen a middle school principal who is the middle school principal and the head football coach. I think I've seen it 1 or 2 times before, but it's pretty rare. Ash Chews Cardboard. Alec Guinness played Ben well. Hank the Tank. Thoughts on Darth Vader and Emperor Palpatine? They're very interesting, compelling characters, but they are evil. I mean, let's face it. You can't get around that one, can you? Dan Graff, if you're planning to do those iCarly episodes, I would do Neville first, okay? VKA, please don't say the same thing over and over again, okay? Or I'm going to stop reading your messages. Okay, By Pilot says Jar Jar Binks is my favorite Star Wars character. We'll just agree to disagree on that one. Jacob, I don't even see any of the messages he's reading. Yeah, I am far behind. I'm sorry. I'll try to catch up. I'll have to skip some of them. I'm just going to have to skip. Let's see. I'll read all of the channel members and then the ones that I think are the most interesting. Dark Link, what was your best school subject to your memory? I was pretty good in math. I went all the way through calculus in high school. Math, music, Spanish as well. Mark Page, does your phone tell you which episode is next of Sponge? Oh, he always wants a preview. So, to answer your question, let's see. So, Bubble Stand is tomorrow. For channel members, next week's is the Salty Sponge is what it is. After I did that one where they try to get into the Salty Sponge, everybody recommended that I do the one called the Salty Sponge, so I did. That one's a later season, but that's the one that's going to be next week. Channel members will get it on Sunday, just in a couple of days. All right, I'm going to try and skip, or else I'll just never make it. Thank you, mods, once again. Give me a minute. I want to read most of them. I'm trying to find my place again. Okay. DeLuna Art Studios. Devin, that played Ned, actually made a few songs. Okay. Does he cuss in those too? I wonder. Sorry, it's just kind of annoying. Salty, I'm very much looking forward to Maul the Shadow Lord. Okay. Spunky Aquarius, who is your second favorite SpongeBob character? I would say probably SpongeBob himself. I think Sandy is my favorite, and I think SpongeBob is probably my second favorite. J-Cell, out of topic, do you like horror? I like scary things that are scary, like, within reason. I don't like the bloody, gory, like, decapitating, blood everywhere. No. But just little jump scares here and there are fine. Daniel Matt Davenroy, what would you do if students skip school? Well, students have skipped school, and what I did do in those cases was, depending on the severity, they would get some sort of consequence, and it's different in every case. They would either get some in-school suspension, or if it was really bad, you can get suspended, which seems silly, but at a certain point, that's sort of all you have left, or parent conference or worse, hearings and stuff like that. But It depends. A lot of times they would just get some ISS time. Sir Goth Ned, did you receive the YouTube golden play button yet? Wow. I'm impressed that, or I'm flattered that you think I have 1 million subscribers, but if I did, I would have a golden play button, but maybe someday I will, with you guys' help. Loaf of Bread, will you watch more My Little Pony? I most certainly will. Ricky Rax, do you thought about reacting to teaching scenes from Star Wars? Yeah, like the Jedi school. Yeah, maybe I should do that. Hank the Tank, a Firings video would be a hit. I think you're right. Ricky Rax, what are your thoughts on a new iPhone? I got one not too long ago. I will say the camera is really, really clear. The newer videos that haven't published yet, where I shot it with the iPhone 16, were really clear. Hank the Tank says Krusty Towers is his all-time favorite. All right. And I'm going to have to skip some. Let me skip down a little bit. Tyler Caswell, have you heard of Big Time Rush? I have, because there's a reaction to one episode on my channel. Ricky Rax, we need potential firing merch. Yeah, I hear you on that, and you've recommended that before, Ricky, and I actually reached out to a designer on that, but somehow they were offended. Like, they didn't know, they had not seen my videos, and they thought it was too edgy, so they didn't do it. I'm like, I'm paying you, so I just need to find a different graphic designer for that. Will you react to the second SpongeBob movie? I would consider it. By pilot, we shall never deny a guest, even the most ridiculous request. That's true. Midnight Kitten, how difficult do you think it would be to have Patrick as a student? Very. Very. Spike Bebop, thank you. And thank you for your contribution once again, Spike Bebop. Okay. I'm going to scroll down a little bit more. Sorry if I skip your message. BC Runch, I feel like Sweeney has more humane moments. Yeah, especially in the third season. All right. Hi, Honors Jacob. Is high school overly obsessed with jobs and careers? They are, because they're supposed to prepare you for that, right? In fact, most people would criticize high school because they don't do enough in that area. So, yes, they do obsess. I don't think they're overly obsessed, because that's like half the point, is to prepare you for whatever you want to do. Let's see. William Armstrong, hello, and thank you once again for the donation. And I am way up on the comments. I'm trying to get through them. And some of you all are just repeating yourself. I'm going to skip your comments if you repeat yourself. And if you get an ad, I am sorry about that. Ash Juice Cardboard, I'll be right back. Vampire Miranda, I'm doing fine. Hope you're doing well. I'm going to have to skip some of them. Dark Link, would you ever do a teacher tier list? I most certainly would. And I think I see another donation pop up. Let's see. Did I see that? The Vidiots, $1.99 donation, which I appreciate all donations, no matter what the amount. So the Vidiots, I'm going to skip down to their message. He says, do you have any plans to do more Boy Meets World? That would be cool. If you have a specific episode that you think would be really, really good or popular, let me know in the comments of a video. But the one that I did do did not get many views, unfortunately. The fans of the show were really excited about it, but it didn't get many views, unfortunately. But I am open to it, the Vidiots. So thanks again, the Vidiots, for the $1.99 donation. I really appreciate it. Okay, let me scroll back up. And I'm just going to have to pick a spot because I'm way behind. If you're a channel member, I'll try to at least catch yours, but I can't guarantee that. All right, Ricky Rax. For Ned's podcast, you should come up with an idea where you act like you're their principal. Yeah, I guess. They make it really hard because they don't just cuss every once in a while. They do it like every second. So it's just, and they don't need to. Like, people do not like Neds because they're into that. Like, if they were a clean channel, they would do just fine. I don't think they need to do that. I think they're just kind of used to it. Dexilon, Jindrake would be on F tier. Maybe. I think you're probably right. Alexander, what's your favorite season of Neds? I don't know. I don't know. It might be season 2, where it has a little bit more of a developed plot, but it doesn't go super crazy yet. I liked the last few episodes of the second season a lot. SA786, when were you born? I'm not going to get quite that personal. Do you want my social security number too? Sorry. So let's see. Kaimani, have you ever seen the YouTube channel Brave Wilderness? I have not, but there's a lot of good channels like that where I always like the bushcraft. And if you don't know what that is, it's where somebody just goes out in the woods with like maybe a knife or a machete, and that's it, and they just start making stuff. Or sometimes with nothing. They find a rock, they find a stick, they start sharpening the stick, they start making little blades and little tools. I like that kind of stuff. Ricky Rax or put a bleep. Yeah, they just cuss too much. I think they go overboard with it. Hank the Tank, Bill Nye the Science Guy reactions. Yeah, maybe. Let's see. Saturn EV, are you going to answer my question? I actually didn't see what it was. I'm scrolling up. I don't see your question, so I'll have to wait to see if you ask it again. Okay. Sorry. I've lost my place again. This is harder than it looks, by the way. Okay, I got it. Ryan Skolman, channel member. Yes, our school systems need a reform. And see, here's the thing. This sort of ticks me off sometimes. There are some channels online and some good videos that talk about mistakes school districts have made, and I have no issue with that, because there are school districts out there that are in my opinion not great. But then people will make these comments and they'll say like, all government schools should be shut down and we should just do away with all of the government fund. Like, where do you think people are going to go to school? Like, most people can't afford private school, and I don't typically use the term government schools, but what they mean is public schools, and you don't have to pay. You just go there for free, and there are some of them that are really, really good. Now, there are some that are horrible. I've seen them for myself, but there are many others. There are just as many that are great. So it's sort of hard to say anything about the school system because there are thousands of school districts in the United States, and they're all very different from each other. Okay, moving on. Ricky Rax, if you do Bill Nye, I would also like to do some chemistry episodes. Yeah, I think of Ricky every time I see a science classroom because they always have like random liquids everywhere. Okay, Vampire Miranda, last Sunday I made a butterscotch pudding pie. That sounds pretty good. Salty, we would always get so excited whenever the teacher would wheel in the TV and would watch Bill Nye. Yeah, me as well. Mr. Junior, they made science fun. Yep, I agree. It was entertaining and it made the knowledge stick. Jack Crick, do you regret being a principal? No, I do not. Now, is it an easy job? It's a hard job. Anybody who's ever done it will tell you it's a hard job. But do I regret it? No, not at all. It was very rewarding at the same time. Okay, let me skip a few. I'm going to try to do the most interesting ones. Hank the Tank, any of those series you haven't watched before anime? Not sure what you mean exactly. Scrolling down. Ricky Rax, he's actually a mechanical engineer. Yeah, true. So he's not, when you watch him, if you don't know, you think like he's a PhD scientist or a chemist or a physicist. He does have a bachelor's degree in engineering, but he doesn't have a PhD. He's not Dr. Nye. He's an actor more than anything else. All right, another donation here. Channel member and legend, Kaimani Burrell, with another $5 donation. I really appreciate it, Kaimani, every single time. He says, I guess that's what all the parents from Matilda think, so they send their kids to Miss Trunchbull School, a part of the reason why they send them. And I'm not sure. Oh, you mean like what I was saying about all schools are bad or something? I'm not sure which comment you were referring to, but yeah, I was sort of wondering, like when I was watching Matilda, I'm like, why would you even go to school there? If you know Miss Trunchbull is the way she is, I'd never send my kid there. I mean, people get thrown through windows. She should have been like arrested immediately for obvious reasons. Okay. Thank you, Kaimani. I appreciate the donation for sure and all of your support of the channel. Okay, Mr. Knuckles, what's your favorite restaurant? Y'all hit me with these random questions and I don't really have time to think about it. I don't know. I mentioned on the last stream I like buffalo chicken pizza. Mellow Mushroom's good. We'll go with that for the purposes of that question. They have some good pizza. Cells at Work, J-Cell. I've seen a few episodes of it. Cells at Work is a really good show. I also enjoyed seeing Dr. Mike react to it. If you're familiar with his channel, that one was a good one. Shadow Diced. I love your channel. Keep it up. I appreciate the comments. Will you do Lean On Me? Yeah, that one keeps coming up in the comments, so I am going to have to do that. I don't know when. Some people will comment and they'll say, hey, can you do this next week? And I'm like, do you think I just like film these and immediately upload them with no editing, no copyright issues? I just upload it immediately. Unfortunately, that's not the way it works. But yes, Shadow Diced, I do plan on doing that. Monsters University, Natster, yep. Okay. ODST Click. I guess I'll subscribe. Thank you for subscribing. According to my analytics, believe it or not, I get a ton more viewers than actually subscribers. So about a third of everybody who watch my videos are subscribed and 2/3 are not. They just watch consistently. So that's why I always say, like, I know you watch every week and you don't subscribe. So that's why I do it in every video. Okay. Let's see. Gabriella Solar, nice to see you. Shageta456, nice to see you. Gabriella, sorry I'm late. No problem. Better late than never. Are you planning to watch the SpongeBob Big Birthday Blowout? I am. I've kind of stayed away from it as well as a few others because they're standalone episodes. And so what that means is I could just sense it's going to be harder for copyright, but I will try to do it. Okay. Natster, unfortunately, I can't watch the Redskins because we got to moderate. You can if you want. I'm not telling you not to watch the game, but thank you for being here. Turner says, try to finish the MLP series. I don't know if I'll finish like the whole thing, but I definitely want to do the School of Friendship ones. ODST, pretty strict on my subscriptions. Mr. Principal's professional decorum is the tipping point. I appreciate it. And, you know, some people like that. I kind of get, it's kind of obnoxious the way some of the people do it. I thought about doing like a sort of a satire video where I like imitate them. I don't think it would be, it probably wouldn't be that great. You know, they come on and they immediately start screaming at you. You know, what's up, guys? Today we're gonna, and they're so loud, and it's just obnoxious. All right. Hank the Tank, do you watch reaction channels these days, and if so, which ones are your favorite? I watch the ones that inspired the creation of this channel, except for Legal Eagle. His old stuff is really good, but his new stuff is just 100% politics, and I'm just not into that. So I wish Devin would stop that. Dr. Mike, I still watch that a lot. I watch 7-4 Gear, which is a pilot named Kelsey that does reaction videos. What other ones do I watch? I know I watch other ones too. There's one called Vlogging Through History, which is a historian. He's clean too. He's a clean channel. He's pretty good. So those are a few that I watch. Okay. Let me scroll down. Sorry if I skip your episode. Or your comment. I just say the word episode an awful lot these days. Let's see. Sir Goth Nerd, have you ever seen a custodian be head coach? No. There are rules about that. I have mentioned that there's no rule against a principal doing it. but a lot of places you do have to be a certified educator. In other words, a teacher or an assistant principal or someone with a teaching certificate. So the custodian in that case wouldn't be able to do it. I have seen a coach be like, or a custodian be what you call a community coach, which is like an assistant coach that just helps, and they're not like a regular school coach, but they just come to practice and help, and they go to the games and help the coach. I have seen that before. Scrolling down. Anna Waymeyer, yeah, with Patreon, it just would be, I don't know if it would be worth it to me. I just prefer to do the YouTube membership that way. ODST, I'm not reading from a separate chat. I'm just really far behind. Luke Smith, I will do more Gumball. Nice to see you, by the way. Hank the Tank, yeah, welcome to the Salty Sponge. How tough are you? It's a pretty funny little episode. And they get sent to the, I forgot, the Weenie Hut or whatever it is. I forgot. All right, I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to have to skip some so I can get down to where we are. Sorry if I skip your episode again. Thank you, mods, by the way. Sir Goth Nerd, have you thought about doing Abbott Elementary? I will do Abbott Elementary, at least a portion of it. Shageta, we got to help him get the silver play button first. Yeah, true. Only, 83,000 subscribers to go? But hey, you never know. I have to skip a few here. Tyler Buck, nice to see you. Thank you for all your comments on the channel. Hank the Tank. Yeah, I don't know why that graphic designer I asked about it felt that way. But there's plenty of them. There's plenty of them that do that. So I'll find another one. Okay. I'm trying to get caught up. Shageta, I'm 25, but I still don't know what to do with my life. You know what? That's okay. The key is you don't want to just sort of give up on that. You have plenty of time and plenty of options. Okay, let's see. Yeah, sorry about the ads. I'll have to check my settings to see if there's anything that I can do to lessen that. Let's see. Scrolling down. Gabriella, one of my favorite reactions of yours was when you reacted to Trunchbull. Yeah, that one sort of threw me for a loop just because she's so crazy. Tyler Caswell, what's your favorite episode of The Fairly Odd Parents? So, I've only done a few. I did like the one, The Secret Life or The Secret Past, whatever it was, where they go back in time and see why Crocker was obsessed with finally finding the fairy godparents. That one was pretty good. Okay. Let's see. Hensel Holst, the Social Security joke got me. Yeah, sorry, I try to be nice. I try to be nice. All right. Scrolling down. Sorry if I skip your message. Key to can you react to school memes? I can, and I may have to get the Discord to help because I will react to memes, but they have to be 100% clean, and many of them are not. All right. Gabriella, French narrator, 2 hours later of scrolling. Crashy, I can't play Bully. It's way too bad. Let's see. Scrolling down. Yes. Oh, and it just loaded a ton of messages and scrolled down. All right, here I am. I'm getting there. Fat Angry Geek. Hello, welcome to the stream. Let's see. Shadow Diced, would you watch Zoe 101? Even if I don't do the whole series, I'll try and pick one or two episodes or more that I can watch. When I started to preview it, which I don't watch my reactions in advance, but I sometimes, with a brand new series, I want to know at least what it's about. So I picked out some random moments in the show, and they just weren't quite what I think will work well. Okay. Uh-oh, I just completely lost the chat. Hold on. I'll get it back. Okay, it's back. Now I have to find my place, and I think I've got it. All right. So you guys, I see you responding to my earlier comments. I love Legal Eagle, Hank says. Legal Eagle used to be good, okay? They used to be good. And he used to do a lot of the stuff that I do now, which was an inspiration for the channel. I've seen him react to legal scenes, not school scenes, from The Simpsons and lots of other things from just shows everybody would know. And it was great. And then he just, in my opinion, sort of destroyed his channel. Not destroyed it, but a lot of people just aren't interested in what he does now. Dr. Mike is good. He didn't make that mistake. Let's see. Fat Angry Geek likes ER Doctor. And there are a lot of doctors on YouTube, which surprised me because I thought, oh, well, obviously there's a lot of principals on YouTube, but when I searched for it a few years ago, it didn't exist. Okay. Okay. Hank the Tank. It's an important era for the legal system and politics influence on them. I can't blame Devin for switching. Yeah, but I don't mind every once in a while, but now it's like every day, the same stuff. I just don't like it. Kaimani, wow, Principal Brandon react to some of the same YouTubers as me, Dr. Mike and 7-4 Gear. Yeah, they're both pretty good. Both of them are fairly clean, too. Marbles Ryan, our former custodian was the bowling coach. That's pretty cool. Turner Winstead, tomorrow my school is having a football game. It's in Tennessee. That's pretty cool. Yep, Friday nights. Okay, scrolling down. Kaimani, has anyone had to learn swimming by being thrown into the deep end by your instructor and having to figure it out? That was normal in Jamaica, and I do hear that. I do hear stories about that. I was not done that way. I don't know if that's the best way or not. I have mixed feelings about that, but okay. By Pilot, how's the progress on getting the members Minecraft server? I still think it's a cool idea. I just haven't done it yet. Just haven't had enough time. Hank the Tank, a paltry 83K subs. Yeah, that's it, right? Just that. Okay. Tyler Caswell, are you a writer? Not really. Not like you're talking about. It's tough to have time for something like that. I barely keep up with YouTube, right? So that'd be sort of difficult. Fat Angry Geek, you reacted to the Simpsons, but I guess Beavis is too much. Yeah, it is. Ross Bristow, what's your least favorite Star Wars movie? I would have to say Star Wars Episode 1. It was sort of hard to go from like Episode 6 to Episode 1, when Jar Jar, someone said it was their favorite. It's not exactly my favorite, and let's just leave it at that. I enjoyed episodes 7, 8, and 9, actually, a lot. Ricky Rex, my girlfriend said you should react to the movie 17 again, and she's the man. If you can, put it in the comments of a video, any video, and I'll check it out. I know your girlfriend is a counselor, and I've enjoyed hearing her thoughts through you on different things, particularly like when they had Miss Splits, the counselor on Ned's, for that one episode. Alyssa, hello. Midnight Kitten, maybe if all the watchers finally subscribe. Yes. If all the people who watch my videos were to suddenly subscribe, I would have probably, I don't know, maybe 30 or 40,000 at least. But you know what? That's okay. I like people that watch my videos too and don't subscribe, but I wish they would subscribe. Okay. Alyssa, my baby kitten named Socks passed away this evening. That's so sad. I'm sorry to hear that. Let's see. Nolan Kennedy, who's the worst student you've had at your school? Well, the worst student would be so bad that I can't even talk about it. So I wouldn't be able to talk about it. Let's see. And every once in a while, my chat list just scrolls down like suddenly without me telling it to. Mary Robert, what's your favorite Hanna-Barbera cartoon? When I think of Hanna-Barbera, all I can remember is Yogi Bear, and I didn't even like Yogi Bear all that much, and I'm not sure which ones were Hanna-Barbera and which were not. Was the Wacky Races Hanna-Barbera? That was a super old one, but they used to replay it back in the day. That one was pretty good. Yeah, there's a bunch of them. I don't know which ones are Hanna-Barbera and which are not. Let's see. Midnight Kitten. Matilda was always one of my favorite movies. Mr. Junior says, nice French narrator impression. Yep. 2 hours later. Not bad, right? Auditect, thanks for coming. Nice to see you. Mary Robert, The Secret Life of Denzel Crocker. That's what it was. Roger Zachary. So much later that the old narrator got tired of waiting and had to hire a new one. Yeah, right. Hensel Holst. Yeah, Zoe 101 is a weird show. Hi, Honors Jacob. Is it possible that a student can get sent to the principal's office for cheating on a test? That's not typically what happens. So every school I've ever been at, academic dishonesty has been in the school handbook. Now, if you cheat repeatedly or you cheat in sort of a major way, like I had a student one time that somehow got a teacher's password to like an online course and changed a bunch of grades. Like if it's something like that, that's going to come with some pretty heavy consequences. Just cheating on your own paper, like on one person's paper on a test. Now, it's going to get you a consequence, but you probably will not be sent to the principal's office. Okay. Let me find my place again. Okay, there it is. By Pilot. I hope you understand why. Yeah, I'm not saying there's nothing for him to talk about on his channel, okay? What I'm saying is he does the same kind of videos every day. And I'm not crazy about the other attorney that he usually has on there, the lady. So it's just the style of it has completely changed. Even when he started to do political videos, it was sort of, informative and educational at the same time. But now it's just, it's a completely different channel, in my opinion. Local Nomad. How does one become a full-time ISS teacher? Seems like a nice gig. It could be. I've seen some people who hate it, and I've seen some people who enjoy it. So typically an ISS teacher is not a real certified teacher, but maybe a paraprofessional, and you just see it on a school district's webpage and you apply. Let's see. Sir Goth Nerd 2. I only know of 2 Reaction Doctor or 3 channels. Okay. And I am starting to get tired. I think I can go for a little bit longer, but I'm starting to get tired. All right. And I'm not sleepy. I'm just literally tired, like, physically. I have been sitting here for a while. Okay, Tanner, who's your favorite My Little Pony character? I like Twilight Sparkle. Now, again, I'm biased because she is sort of the principal, or head mayor, as she calls herself. Okay, let's see. J-Cell, sorry about that. My question got skipped. It's hard to keep up with the chat. Yes. So it's either I skip or I just never do them all. I never get to the bottom because people kept saying, where is he at in the chat? I don't see where the messages are because I was so far behind. Okay. Miguel, you should watch and react to Rugrats All Grown Up. Okay. Mr. Junior seconds that. Miguel says, and hola, how are you? I'm doing well. Shadow Dice, The Principal's Office 2008. I know what you're talking about if you're talking about the show, The Principal's Office. Fat Angry Geek, I like channels like yours. It's not common to find clean channels. It's a breath of fresh air. Yeah, thank you for that. I do hear that from people sometimes. I don't know why some channels just feel the need to not, be clean. Mr. Junior, the Wacky Races were Hanna-Barbera. I think that was made in like the 60s, but I saw it more in the 90s when they reran it. Hank the Tank says the wacky races were Hanna-Barbera. Hansel Holst says they still replay it. That's pretty cool. Miguel says that's where I'm watching from. I didn't know the principal is the same actor that voices Mr. Krabs. Hank the Tank, don't forget Speed Buggy and Jabberjaw. Yep. And then Speed Racer, I think, would come on right after it or right before it. I think that's Hanna-Barbera. John Smith, Flintstones was Hanna-Barbera. The only reason I know is because, like, they would have this ad for Hanna-Barbera that would have, like, all the characters and all their shows. And did I see another donation? I did. The Book of Dark donated $2, so, of course, I'm going to skip straight to their message. The Book of Dark says, have you ever heard of Dr. E.R.? I don't know if I have. I've seen some other doctor reaction channels that I just don't watch on a regular basis. The other one is, what's his name? Dr. Glaucomflecken is another comedy doctor reaction, or he does his own little sketches. They're pretty funny, though. Dr. Glaucomflecken is his name. He's easy to find. Okay, let me find my place. Thanks again, The Book of Dark, for that contribution. I appreciate it. Okay, let's see. Hank the Tank, the hack story is insane. Yeah, true story. That was sort of unfortunate. And he was smart too, because he didn't give everybody hundreds, you know. Okay. What else? Scrolling through. Tater Tot says, hey, always wondered, in a lot of movies and shows, you see kids have a food fight in the cafeteria. It never happens like that. It never happens where somebody says, food fight, and they all start throwing stuff. Think about it. I mean, think about the psychology of being in that situation, and you see people start to throw stuff. There are some people that probably would start throwing things, but I think there's many more who are like, I don't want anything to do with this. Let me, go over to the other side of the room or something. I think that's what most people would do. But that never happens in the movies. I've never seen it in real life. What would happen? That'd be sort of tough. There would probably be, you'd have to get the situation under control, send everybody to class, clean up, get the people cleaned up, and then you'd have to investigate and find out who started it. The people who started that would probably be put out of school. I have seen people throw things in the lunchroom, but it never resulted in a full-blown food fight like that. Kaimani says, any thoughts on the suggestion Avatar Winter Solstice Part 2? I haven't quite gotten there yet. I did Bitter Work, and I just did Sokka's Master. So I'll have to look at the other ones on the list that you provided, or the list that I wrote down based on your suggestions. Miguel, I have a list, Director Brandon, and I like the title because that's Director. Claro que sería director en español. In Spanish, that's the word for principal, director or director. Rugrats all grown up. And my gym partner is a monkey. Thank you for that. Hank the Tank, he's shutting down. Not yet. I have a little bit more in me here. I'm going to actually switch hands. I've been like pressing down the mouse this whole entire time, and so my hand kind of hurts. So I'm going to switch hands. All right. Let's see. Ash Choose Cardboard is back. By Pilot, I think YouTube has gotten too clean. I sort of disagree, but it depends on what you're looking for. Ash Choose says, I had to take a couple of quizzes for my class. Hopefully you did pretty well on those. A Book of Dark, thanks again for the $2 donation. Miguel, the Wacky Racer started in the 70s. Shadow Diced, will you watch the school scenes in Scream? Not this time, but I'm open to doing stuff like that in the future. But it would be even harder to keep up with these chat messages. John Smith mentions Community. Nickel of Nostalgia, do you remember Double Dare or Legends of the Hidden Temple? I remember both of those. I was a big fan of both of those, although Double Dare was pretty disgusting. I remember the end where they did the obstacle course. They always had that one where you had to get the ticket in each little obstacle course, and you had to it was a giant nose with green slime in it that you had to reach up into and get the ticket. It was really pretty disgusting, but it was all fake, of course. It wasn't, real. And then Legends of the Hidden Temple. That was a good show. I remember the orange monkeys and the silver snakes and the green monkeys and the orange iguanas and the silver snakes. I think that's right. And the blue, I forgot. But it was a good show for sure. J-Cell, a silent voice. A lot of people have asked for that, and so I'm going to do it eventually. I lost my place for a minute. My voice is starting to go as well. I've been talking for how long? An hour and 15 minutes? I guess that's not that bad. All right, let me find my place. Okay, Kaimani says, yeah, I stay far from trouble. Food fight, class fight, which happened in 8th grade, but I normally leave not to be involved. Wow, so that actually happened at your school. Johnny Quest. Yeah, Johnny Quest. I remember that. The Herculoids. If the Herculoids was Hanna-Barbera, I did like that. I liked Gleep and Gloop. That'd go, I can't do it. The impression of them and the noise that they made, if you know what I'm talking about, I can't do it. I liked that show too. Let's see. Miguel, I remember in my high school years hearing whistles before they started throwing food. Yeah, that's really horrible. I've never seen that happen. I have seen people throw stuff though. Gabriela, Director is more rector. Yeah, rector, that's a title. That's in in English, it's like a really, really old-fashioned title for the head of maybe a religious school. That makes sense. Director, and I'm assuming you're a Spanish speaker also. I have a lot of Spanish speakers on my channel, and I want to eventually do a Spanish language reaction video. Salty, how do you like your coffee? I like it just with cream and maybe a little bit of sweetener, but not a whole lot. And I'm a big fan of the pumpkin spice. Ash Chews says he got a 98 and a 100. Congrats. Undertaker, do you like sushi? I do like sushi, but I don't get really adventurous with the sushi. I tend to do just the basic ones, the cooked ones, the California roll, or the spicier ones, but they have to be cooked. Sonic fan, there's an anime called K-On!, which centers on a group of schoolgirls who form their old band. Okay. So would you react to the principal's office show, says Shadow Diced? I would. I've seen a couple of them, and they are fairly realistic. Actually went to a conference one time. There's a speaker who speaks at conferences that was on a couple of the episodes, so he played them during the conference. It was pretty good. Again, my voice is starting to go here. Okay. Let's see. What else? Kaimani Burrell, have you ever played beach buggy racing or temple run? I know what those are, but I have not. Mr. Junior is a fan of K-On! Also. J-Cell, the blue barracudas. Yes, thank you. The green monkeys, the orange iguanas, the silver snakes. There were 8 teams at the beginning of the show. All right. By Pilot, Brandon being grossed out by the littlest things. Yeah. Yes. All right. Scrolling down. J-Cell, the purple parrots. Yep. That's it. Gabriella, only those who understand potential firing will be on board with the merch. Yeah, I was sort of thrown off by that because most graphic designers don't even care. You pay them, you tell them what you want, and then they do it. That's sort of how it works most of the time. Same thing with editors, same thing with thumbnail designers. By the way, do you all like the new editing style? If you remember the SpongeBob from last week, a lot of the newer episodes that are going to be coming out are in that style. Most people said they like it. You're not going to offend me if you don't like it because it's not me doing it. Someone else is doing that for me. But let me know what you think about that. Okay. Let's see. Get the Picture, Mr. Junior. I do remember that one. Sir Goth the Nerd, Legally Blonde. I do remember that. Mr. Junior. Yeah, some of my voice acting skills, which are not great anyway, but thank you. Ash Choose. Discord recently updated their server member limit from 2.5 million to 25 million. That's I don't even know. That's like a country. There are many countries that don't even have 25 million people in it, let alone a Discord server. My goodness. I don't think the state of Georgia has that many. We're at like 13 million maybe. That's nuts. All right. Hensel Holtz, El Chavo del Ocho. I think you mentioned that one before, as long as it's clean. And see, that's the thing, too. I'm going to have a hard time determining whether the show is clean because, I don't know every word and I don't know some of the slang. So I'm going to have to be careful about that. Gabriela, I'm bilingual in Spanish and English, but I prefer the latter. I only speak Spanish at home and some friends. LOL. Director reacciona. Yeah, exactly. That's what it would be. Esta es lo que sería. Gabriela. Oh, yes. Imagine him reacting to Bob Esponja. Yeah, which is SpongeBob in Spanish. Bob Sponge. That's exactly right. Undertaker Lover. Will you carve pumpkins? I don't typically do that for pumpkins for Halloween. Sir Goths, cool. I'm sort of bilingual too. Brian Nussbaum, 8 episodes left till Ned return of the Mr. Monroe. Yeah, and you all don't worry. I've already kind of heard that he comes back, which would be cool. Miguel Henselholtz, I want El Director to react to that one as well. J-Cell, neat seeing you on that seat for hours. I think it's time to give yourself a bit of a stretch. I will, believe me, probably not on the stream, but I will do that. Hank the Tank, favorite adult-oriented show. I'm not sure how you interpret that term. I don't even know what that would be. I don't watch shows with a lot of profanity and stuff, but I don't know. I guess you could say like certain YouTube channels, like 7-4 Gear, for example. I mean, he doesn't. There's nothing that bad on his channel, but it's not for kids, if that's what you mean by that. Additive Hero, there's more and more Spanish people coming to America. Okay. Yeah, all right. Key, yes, absolutely. Brian Nussbaum can react to High School Musical. Yes. Salty06, I prefer the old style. Thank you for that. Shadow Diced, have you ever had to suspend a teacher? If I did have to, I wouldn't be able to discuss it. But I'll leave it right there. By Pilot, the only issue I had with new editing was random cuts. So the last one was the first one that they did for me, and they did too many cuts in my opinion. The other ones that they've done that will come out here shortly, including tomorrow's, they don't do the quick cuts as much, but they do the same general style as far as like the background and the reaction frame and everything. Kaimani, did you look on Fiverr? I've heard it's a place that you can find certified designers. Yes, I have been on Fiverr before, and you are right about that. However, I find most of mine on Discord itself, actually. Thank you, mods, by the way. Hank the Tank, new editing style looks good. Shadow Diced, would you react to Mean Girls 1 and 2? Well, I have a surprise for you. So I have done Mean Girls, the first one, on the channel. It's a little bit older of an episode, but I have done it. Bryant Magoli, what's your favorite food? I do like pizza quite a bit, particularly spicy pizza. Jesse, I hope you can react to Winx Club soon. I'll have to see a lot of other people reacting to it. By Pilot, U.S. State of Georgia Discord server. Yeah, if you're going to allow 25 million people. Hank the Tank, I allow this to be your stopping point. Okay, well, thank you. I'll quit in a minute, but not yet. I don't want to quit just yet. Hensel Holst, El Chavo del Ocho is clean. In fact, I'm going to take a quick photo of that so I can look at it later. Okay, and the Book of the Dark with a $5 donation. Let me skip down to his or her comment. So the Book of Dark with the $5 donation says, there's a movie called Legal Eagle. Would it be ironic for Legal Eagle to review it? Yeah, I think so. I don't know if they would. I think they're way too fixated on what they're doing now. But yes, that would be very ironic. Like if there were a movie called Principal Reacts, that'd be pretty ironic for me to react to it. All right. Let me find my place again. Thanks again, the Book of Dark, for your donation. Really appreciate it. So, Gabriela says Sandy Cheeks in the Spanish dub is called Arenita Mejillas. And I'm guessing Arenita is squirrel. I actually didn't know how to say squirrel, and then I looked it up, and then I forgot it because I don't say squirrel in conversations very often in Spanish. That's what happens if I don't use the word. I generally forget it. So, and mejillas, we know what those are. So, Sandy Cheeks. Squidward is calmarado, which is like squid, just like squid, or a variant of that. Mr. Krabs is Don Cangrejo. That's interesting. And Patrick is Patricio, which, that's what it is. So that's pretty interesting. Thanks, Gabriela, for that. I found that interesting. Hank the Tank, how do you celebrate Halloween? I don't really so much, but I do. Like back when I was a teacher, what I would do, honestly, all the different holidays, including the day after Halloween, which would be November 1st in the U.S., I will go to all the stores and buy all the discounted candy, because all the Halloween candy would be on clearance because nobody wants to buy pumpkin-shaped candy anymore. And I would buy it all at a huge discount, and I would give it to my students for doing certain things like playing a passage of music correctly or doing well on a quiz or something like that. And yes, I did give quizzes, musical quizzes. Miguel, everybody's telling me that El Chavo del Ocho is clean. That's good to know. All right. Gabriela, Tom Kenny met his Spanish counterpart recently. That was pretty cool. I'm assuming you mean the voice actors. Additive, I still have the Jordan 12s. Key says, I was talking about the editing style. Brian Nussbaum, are there any characters in Ned's that remind you of people you've worked with? Not so much. The people in Ned's, what Ned's does, it does have realism in it, but it's sometimes over the top because they take things that happen in real life and they just ramp them up so much. It's like an exaggerated version of it. So, not really. Shadow Diced, would you react to Harry Potter school scenes? Yeah, maybe someday. Ash Chews, I will keep you here all night. We can't keep them past 4, which is a quote from Mean Girls. That one was a really good one. The principal is, I think he got A tier in my tier list video. Perfect Angel says, my senior year of high school, I got to play with my band at Severance Hall in Cleveland, Ohio. Have you ever gotten to do anything like that with any of your music classes? Yeah, the closest thing to that would be performing at Band Festival. If you know about that, where you go and perform at Ratings. We performed at a couple of concert halls that were a little nicer than what we were used to. And then before I was a band director, I would help with certain bands as a college student. I remember going to the Georgia Dome and performing. I wasn't performing, but I was helping, and I did get to go on the field with them. That was pretty cool. Cade Shasta, your Matilda videos were the ultimate ray of positivity and inspiration when we were moving. I had it playing in the background. That's really cool. I really enjoy hearing stories about how people listen to my videos or watch my videos or both. Okay. I'm going to have to skip a few here. Sorry if I skip yours and I see a donation. It's Peter Pie. It's Peter Pie. He's notorious for giving away memberships. Peter Pie just donated 5 memberships, and the YouTube is figuring out who to give them to as we speak. BT received a membership. J.K. Richardson received a membership. Ross Bristow received a membership. Natster even received a membership. And then, who's the other one? I only see 4. I see 4 of them. Natster, BT, J.K. Richardson, Ross Bristow. I don't see the 5th one, but I'm assuming somebody will get it. Thank you, Peter Pie, so much. That's kind of your thing now, giving away channel memberships. I really appreciate your support, Peter Pie. Okay, let me try to catch up here. Hensel Holst. Yeah, that makes sense. Ardilla is squirrel, and Arenita would be Sandy. Okay, gotcha. Sorry, I thought it was squirrel. Cade Shasta. Squidward, I'm Dutch, is Octo, so that's his name in Dutch. Thank you. I really like languages. It's really kind of a passion of mine, so thank you for that. Salty, did you have to learn languages for your career, or are you just that studious? I just liked it. There have been some interview situations where they would really perk up when I said that. It depends on the student population. So if the school has a lot of Spanish-speaking students and parents, they really care about that. And some other places, they don't care at all because they don't have that. So it just depends on the demographics of the community. Gabriela, oh yeah, like arena, right? Yeah, that's right. Arena is sand, so Arenita would be Sandy. That makes total sense. I thought it was squirrel. Thank you for that. Arena, yeah, I forgot. And it's just not a word I use often, so I don't tend to have it in the front of my mind. Yep. Thank you. Let's see, what else? Emiliano Brito, hola. I'm assuming you're also a Spanish speaker. That's really cool. Yo planearé a hacer algo en español eventualmente. Hank the Tank, what was your best subject? I think it was math. Math, music, and Spanish were all pretty strong. Fat Angry Geek, have you played any video games? Yes, I have, some of which on the channel. I want to do some more Stanley Parable. I've got to finish that one out. That might be a good one to do actually on a live stream, and maybe if I get stuck, you guys can help me on what to do to get to the other endings. Okay, I'm going to give it about 5 or 10 more minutes and then stop. I lost my place again, though. Yes, Salty is mentioning Stanley Parable. I even did Baldy's Basics one time. I think that was my first one. Thoughts on The Breakfast Club? I don't know about it because I've never seen it, so I would have to go watch it and react to it on the channel. Peter Pie, thanks again for the memberships. Isaac, have you thought about becoming a superintendent in the future? I've thought about it. I'm not saying I wouldn't do it, but I would really have to think about it because it's a lot of responsibility, even more so than a principal. Dragon Flare Frog, what's 5 plus 5? I'm not sure what you mean. I don't know if you're referring to the 5 memberships that Peter Pie donated. Perfect Angel, wow, that must have been exciting. I'm not sure what you're referring to. I can't remember what I was talking about when you said that. Sir Goth, in 2012, my high school band was supposed to represent America in the Olympics, but they got canned for another school. Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. Peter Pie, would be nice if YouTube allowed me to choose which tier. Yeah, I was wondering if it allowed you to do that. Because if you know much about my membership programs, you know that you get the most value out of the upper ones. With honor roll and above in particular, and then teacher's pet and principal's office are the higher ones. BT, yep, you were gifted a membership. Thank you, Peter Pie. Okay, I lost my place. me switch places here. Give me a moment. And I will wrap up here in a minute. What happens on my end is the stream lags a little bit, and then it will load like a whole bunch of messages at once and push the chat for me up a whole bunch without me telling it to. And we've still got 51 people here. I think some people got tired and went to bed, but we've still got 50 people in here hanging out. All right. All right, Gabriela. Sigue aprendiendo español, Director Brandon. It brings me hope to my non-Spanish speaking friends. Yeah, it just takes a long time, honestly, learning Spanish. And I am able to speak with a lot of fluency, but it's far from perfect. And we've got Kaimani Burrell sent a School Principal Reacts gift membership. Thank you, Kaimani, for that support. And Perfect Angel 79 received the membership. Thank you so much, Kaimani, for that gift. That's kind of neat because you don't know who's going to get it. A random person will get it. I do kind of wish they'd let you do honor roll, not because it costs more, but because that's the first level where you get the early videos. Okay. But I think if you do get gifted a Hall Pass membership, you can upgrade to Honor Roll for the difference in the cost, which is not as much. Okay. And I see another one, Salty, a $5 donation. Thank you, Salty. He says, have you really been far even as decided to use? I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. I don't know if you did that on purpose. So one time I would, how your iPhone will suggest words to you? If you just keep pressing it, it'll create a little rambling sentence. I've done that to people before. So Salty06 says, have you really been far even as decided to use, even go, want to do, look more like? I'm not sure what that means. I'm so sorry. If you want to put another comment after this one, I'll try and answer your question if you had a question. Okay, I'm going to scroll back up and do some more comments for the ones that I missed. Gold Glee Gamer, hello, School Principal Reacts. M3RK, hello, Brandon. Miguel, yeah, Bully's just got a lot of really bad content in it. Vampire Miranda, can you do Ice Bucket Challenge? If you mean like having stuff dumped on me, probably not. Hank the Tank, it's impressive you were good at math. Let's see. Yeah, Zentomo, if the Breakfast Club is not clean, I'm not going to do it. Let's see. Stuart Hunter. Do you wax your head? In an emergency, it could be useful to signal the Coast Guard. No, but that's wonderful, isn't it? Jack Moon, hello, loved your videos. What's the longest tenure of a teacher that you've heard of at one school? One of the schools where I was the band director, actually, I took over for someone who had been there 30 years. I've heard of people that have spent their entire career, which is typically 30 years or more, at one school. I've heard of that before. Okay. Lost my place here. Let's see. And I'm going to have to skip a few probably. Ash Choose, did you check out the game recommended? It's called Platform 8. I have not been able to do that yet. Perfect Angel, have you ever heard of a telenovela called La Catrina? No, I haven't. I've heard of a few ones that are popular. A telenovela is basically a soap opera, we would call it in English, except I used to watch it when I would work out. I would get on the treadmill when I was still learning Spanish, and I would watch them. But the acting, and they're known for this, everybody knows, a telenovela, the acting is like way over the top, even more than an American soap opera. Just the acting, like the level to which people get emotional on there is like way up there with the telenovelas. So no, I have not heard of that one though. But I haven't watched any in a long time either. Let's see. Hey, Principal, Gia Richards. Hey, Principal, do you plan on doing any more Hey Arnold? Yeah, I do. Some people have said I should do the whole series. I don't know if I'll do that, but it's a good show. Perfect Angel. Yep, you got a free membership. Isaac, if we're a gifted membership, we'll be charged after 1 month. I don't know how that works. I don't know if they automatically charge you. I don't think that would be fair. I would think that I don't know how that works. If they give you an option or if they try to charge you or how that works. I'm not sure. But yes, you get the 1 month for free is what you get. Let's see. Kaimani, hopefully an update will come where we can choose which memberships. I'll look at that and see if that exists. I've never seen that setting, though. Mr. Junior, foreign languages are often little by little. Yep. You would know, wouldn't you? He speaks Japanese, Mr. Junior does. Ash Junior Cardboard, if you get a gifted membership, it expires after that month and you aren't charged. Yeah, I think it just ends. It doesn't try to charge you unless you sign up for it. Some people do that. They'll like the membership and they'll want to keep it, so they'll pay for it after a month. Let's see. Hold on. Broken Dreams, what made you decide to be a YouTuber? So if you haven't heard the story, I was watching reaction videos and I searched for Principal Reacts and it didn't exist, so I decided to do it. Hank the Tank, I don't speak Mandarin. Did somebody say that? I speak some basic Mandarin, but not a whole lot. Did someone mention Mandarin, or did you just put that in sort of randomly? So I just speak the basics. 我会说一点点中文。我会说英语和西班牙语，但是我不会说中文很好。Which just means that I speak English and I speak Spanish, but I don't speak very good Chinese or Mandarin. Mandarin refers to the spoken form of Chinese that most people speak. So I can use some simple verbs and I can count and I can do some other simple things, but that's about it. The Book of Dark with a donation. I'm going to skip down to their message. They have a $5 donation and they said, how long has it been since you were principal, and do you know what the entire... No, I do not know what that means. So as far as when I was a principal, if you're a longtime fan of the channel and if you see my community posts, I wrote a community post on June 30th of this year because technically speaking, that was my last day as principal. So to answer your question, it has been what? 2 months, 2.5 months. That's it. So there you go. I'm in a different sort of administrative role at this point. Enjoying it very much. All right. Back up to the other chats. Travis 7 Huge is here, channel member. By pilot, my grandma Sue worked in the medical field for around 50 years. That's pretty crazy. Let's see. 2 Point University, Zen Torno. I would be interested in that if it's clean. Mary Robert, you should watch some Smash Bros. Clips again, as long as it's clean. Perfect Angel, that sounds right for what I watched in my high school Spanish class. Victim of Fate, can you watch Mucha Lucha as long as it's clean? I have no idea. If it's not, I can't. Let's see. Sorry if I skip yours. Perfect Angel, no, they don't automatically charge you after 1 month of free memberships. They'll just keep sending you reminders. Because some people do keep them and some don't, which is fine too. Gabriela, telenovelas are known to act over the top. Sí, es cierto. Yeah, I remember thinking that because I used to go to the gym a lot. I had a gym membership, and so I would get on the treadmill and watch these telenovelas, and I was always blown away. And there was also like a Spanish version of The People's Court. I forgot what it was called. It was like a fake courtroom show, but it was in Spanish. That one was pretty crazy as well. There was one called like La Rosa de Guadalupe. There was one called, there were several. I can't remember any of the other names. All right, Natster, could you read Mandarin? Not really. I can read the Chinese characters for, and it's sort of a misnomer because Mandarin, my understanding is, and I think this is correct, Mandarin is the spoken dialect that 90% of Chinese people speak. Chinese, the written language is Chinese written language. That's how it's referred to, Chinese characters. So, or kanji. But I think that's in Japan, like to differentiate it from the other forms of written Japanese language. But Mandarin refers to the spoken language. So technically you can't read Mandarin because it's spoken. I can read Chinese characters for the numbers, and I can read a few of the very simple ones, and that's about it. Okay. Mr. Junior, I'm happy with how much Japanese I've learned, but there's still a lot more to learn. Yeah, and I feel the same way in Spanish. And I tell people that I'm fluent. I do speak with fluency, but I used to think to myself, you can't say that you're fluent in a language unless you know every single word that exists in that language. But I don't know every word in English. So, I mean, I think to say that you're fluent or to speak with fluency means that you can speak fluidly and without having to really translate. Like when I speak Spanish, I'm thinking in Spanish. I'm not doing the translating. So if I don't know a word that I'm trying to think of, that's okay. I just go look it up. Sometimes I forget a word in English, and I'm like, what is the word for this? And I have to look it up in the thesaurus or the dictionary or whatever. Let's see. BT, the fact that you even know basic Mandarin is good. I think I only know ni hao. And yes, that's for sure Mandarin. Ni hao means hello. Ash Juice Cardboard, there's a teacher named Ann in Mississippi that's been teaching since 1965. That's pretty crazy. Most teachers that I know, the oldest one that I've seen is like maybe the late 70s or early 80s when they started, but 65 is pretty crazy. That's really crazy. Because most people get to a point where if they retire, they'll like make almost as much money as if they teach. So it's like they're working for free almost. Lulu Vincent, have you ever been to Europe for vacay? I've been to Europe for other things. I told Emery, who is German, I went to Germany in 2018 for a work-related thing. And then I went to Hungary back in college for a college. I performed at one of the music schools there. And I think I see another donation. Are you serious? Kaimani Burrell again, legend of the channel and principal's office level member. Kaimani says, which universe would you rather live in, SpongeBob or Ned or even Avatar with the knowledge you currently have? Let's see. SpongeBob or Ned or Avatar? I don't know. SpongeBob seems sort of dangerous because at any time you might get burned with the many times that the whole city has burned down, or eaten by something, or mutated into something, or get some sort of horrible. I've seen a lot of really bad stuff happen in Bikini Bottom. Avatar, I think I would be afraid of being like swallowed up by the earth or drowning or being set on fire by a Fire Nation person. So I think I would have to go with Ned's. It's probably the safest option. Thank you, Kaimani, for your donation. I really appreciate it. All right. I think I've got a little bit more time in me. I'm really enjoying this. I'm just starting to get a little tired. I'm not sleepy yet, honestly. I'm just tired of sitting here. Caso Cerrado. That's what it was. Hensel Holst. It wasn't Veredicto Final. It would have been caso cerrado. That's what it was, which means case closed. Yeah, I do remember that. Caso cerrado. It was right. It was on the same channel with the telenovelas. It was really, really dramatic. More dramatic than the English soap operas. Okay. What else? Sonic fan. I know that La Rosa de Guadalupe has a banned episode. Yeah, I'm sure it does. I'm quite sure it does. Powerpuff 2013. What is your favorite Ned's episode of all time in each season? And I'm going to assume that you're not from the U.S. because of the way you spelled favorite. Again, I like all my international viewers. So, favorite Ned's episode in each season. I don't know why I liked the elections episode from season 1. Season 2, I would have to go with the second to last episode where, or maybe it was the last episode. No, second to last where they're at the international thing and Ned has a double date with Susie and Jock and Mose. That one was pretty good. Season 3, I would have to go with the bus. That one was pretty good. Good question. Interesting question. Mr. Junior, kanji does translate as Chinese characters, but yeah, the Japanese people created some of their own too. Yeah, I think there's the katakana, right? And there's another one. There's 3 total, right? There's the kanji, the katakana, and the other one. I don't know what it is. Okay. By pilot, I've heard there's a fluency test that the Guinness World Records people do. I would be interested to do that. I want to see where I rank on that. I have passed the Georgia Spanish certification test. I was able to pass that, so I must be okay. Let's see. Natster. Yeah, I know in Canada, I know you have to take French, and I know that's sometimes controversial with the whole Quebec thing. Quebec. I know there's some controversy in Canada about that. All right. Mr. Junior, I know ni hao, kailan, and I'm not sure what that means. How about a discount on restroom tokens? Okay. I know in Germany they do that. Another donation from the Book of Dark. Thank you so much. You're getting to be a legend yourself. So $5 donation from the Book of Dark. The Book of Dark says, I could just imagine your reaction of Mr. Garrison, school teacher from South Park. Yeah, a lot of people have said that, but unfortunately, South Park is not going to be possible, unfortunately. A lot of people have asked for it, though. Okay, let me scroll back up. Thank you very much, the Book of Dark, for your donation to the channel. Okay, I'm going to do a few more minutes and I'm going to quit. Legends, who would you rather go on a conference with? Good question. I like the interesting, more intriguing questions. Principal Jindrake or Principal Moss? I think probably Principal Moss, only because Principal Jindrake is a bit more of a jerk, and he's obsessed with power, and that's all he cares about, and he's more annoying. Principal Moss, he got D tier on my list. He did not get F tier. He's a little bit better than Jindrake. He's more like lazy and corrupt than he is obsessed with power and annoying. So probably Principal Moss. Interesting question. Sir Goth says, I learned some Chinese that way, but forgot some 1 year after they stopped reading. Yeah, you have to maintain it if you're learning a language. Lulu Vincent, Bikini Bottom has been burned down more times than Constantinople. Yeah, and if you know your history, yeah, true. Mr. Junior, Fry Cook Games had the whole scene with the audience getting fried. Yeah, they got instantly fried into some fish sticks. Very true. And Sir Goth or Principal Skinner. Oh, Principal Skinner wouldn't be too bad, although he is kind of corrupt too. Let's see. J-Cell, have you visited any Asian countries before? I have not, but I would love to in the future. Light Night Aiden, nice to see you here. Hensel Holst, if I lived in the SpongeBob universe, I would have helped SpongeBob with his splinter problem easily. Yeah, one day I'll watch it, and I don't know if I'll regret it or not, but someday. Isaac, would you like to be part of the Fairly Odd Parents universe? That would be okay, I guess. Principal Waxelplax wasn't all that bad. Mr. Junior, kanji, katakana, and hiragana. That was the other one. Perfect Angel. As told by Ginger, I'll have to get to it eventually. Hank the Tank, I think you're enjoying streaming. I am. I really am. It's just starting to take a toll on my body here. I'm tired of sitting down. Let's see. I'm skipping some of them. Light Night, how many years have you been a principal? I was a principal for 4 years, assistant principal for 5 years, a district administrator for 3 years. Ash Choose Cardboard. Here's another interesting one. Who's the better principal, Duval or Franklin? I think I would have to go with Principal Franklin because Principal Duval would have gotten A tier had he not done what he does in the gymnasium scene in the movie, which is he comes into there wearing nothing but a tank top and starts saying some things that he's going to keep them there all night and stuff. He just goes too far. Principal Franklin didn't get S tier either, but he just got a little too close to Carly and like did favors for her in exchange for being on the show. I wasn't crazy about that, but and got himself fired because of it and then reinstated, of course. Okay, where am I at? Let's see. I'm almost at the end here, and I'm going to wrap up here in a minute once I catch up. Sorry if I skip your message. I can't read them all. And I think I'm getting a little bit of lag here. All right, I think I'm lagging. I'm going to let it catch up for just a minute. Or maybe we're at the end of the chat. I don't see any more messages, so maybe we're at the end, which is fine too. I think I'll use this as kind of an opportunity to wrap it up. I really enjoyed this stream. Tanner, to answer your question, I was surprised by the realism, actually. My Little Pony has a lot of connections to real life. But yeah, I'm going to wrap up the stream now. We are right at the 2-hour mark. It doesn't seem like it. I really appreciated all of your comments. I appreciated those of you who didn't say anything just for being on the stream. I appreciated all of the donations, particularly the Book of Dark legend on this stream, Kaimani Burrell, one right after the other. I appreciate all of the support and your involvement in the channel and all of your involvement on Discord and being a mod for us. Peter Pie with the 5 membership donations. And I think we had a couple more that I can no longer see. It won't let me see them. But I appreciated all the donations. It was, oh man, who was it? Spike from the beginning. I can't see their name anymore. It won't let me see their name. Spike Bebop, I think it was. And Kaimani Burrell and Salty also with the donation. And Emery at the beginning with the €1 donation. And, you know, I don't pander too much about that, but I do count on support from YouTube in order to, you know, continue. Peter Pie with a last-minute donation. Well, I have to read his comment now. So Peter Pie with the $5 donation, which I appreciate. He says, if you were Ned's music teacher instead of Mr. Gibson, how would you have gone about helping him when he was annoyed? And that happens a lot with kids getting bored with the scales. Scales are necessary, but you want to give them some stuff that they know. I probably wasn't supposed to do this, but I would sometimes handwrite little melodies for students to learn on their instrument that they knew, clean songs. I did tell them it had to be clean because they would try to do otherwise, but I would let them learn little, you know, clean songs that they had heard different places, and they would get all excited about it. So just to help them stay involved and motivate them to do their scales and stuff. Okay, I'm going to have to quit. Thank you all for all of your support. One more time, I'm going to say it. Oh, the Book of Dark with yet another donation. My goodness. Y'all are trying to keep me on here all night, aren't you? The Book of Dark with the $5 donation says, and Kaimani Burrell with another one. So I have to read those. The Book of Dark, $5. Principal Victoria from South Park is the craziest principal of any show, only second to PC Principal. I probably will not be able to watch it, so I'm going to have to take your word for it, The Book of Dark. Kaimani Burrell with another $2. Have a great night, everyone. You have a great night too, Kaimani. I really appreciate your support. And The Book of Dark, and Peter Pie, and Spike, whatever their name was from the beginning, and everyone else who donated. What was their name? I want to get it right. It was Spike Bebop and Salty, who also donated, and Emery. So I'm going to wrap it up here before someone else donates it. And Peter Pie just did something. Did Peter Pie just buy a membership? Principal's office level. Am I reading that correctly? That can't be right? Let me check. I'm going to check on my phone on the memberships. Did he just do that? I can't see it. Yeah, he did. He did. Peter Pie. Y'all are trying to keep me on here all night. My goodness. Peter Pie has just become a principal's office level member, and there haven't been all that many of those. But that is the highest membership level that I have. So Peter Pie, let me know if I can ever do anything for you. I hope you join the Discord. Just reach out if I can ever do anything for you on that upper level. I do try to give those upper levels some additional perks and some additional access. So, but thank you for that. So before anybody else donates something, I'm going to have to wrap up. Thanks again to Peter Pie and Kaimani Burrell and the Book of Dark and Spike Bebop and Salty and Emery and all of the rest of the contributors to the channel, and Peter Pie most especially, and Kaimani. All right, I'm going to wrap it up before someone else donates. Thank you all for tuning in. Kaimani Burrell. Member for 11 months. Am I reading that correctly on the principal's office level? That's insane. That is insane, Kaimani. That is absolutely insane. So Kaimani Burrell, I guess he felt he just had to top Peter Pie, which I do appreciate you both on that, supporting the channel in this way. That ensures that I'm able to keep going with it, because I do rely on support from donations and from ad revenue from regular old YouTube views. So Kaimani, I don't know what to say. I'm literally speechless. And Peter Pie both with the principal's office level memberships. And Peter Pie, y'all are going to keep me from going to bed, aren't you? Peter Pie with the 5 principals reacts gift memberships. Another 5 memberships. So let's see who got them. So we've got Alejandro Gutierrez. We've got, I'm just laughing because they just keep going. Alejandro Gutierrez with a free membership. Chelsea Jackson with a membership. H.C. Rayert, H. Crayert with a membership, or H.C. Rayert, whatever it is. And then, they're all saying, have mercy, have mercy. Hey, it's all right. It's all right. I won't stay up all night. So we've got Alejandro Gutierrez got a membership. Chelsea Jackson got a membership. H.C. Rayert got a membership. Mythical Phoenix Heart, which very deserving of a membership. I think it's probably almost morning there in South Africa. Haley Wolasek got a membership also. So Ash Choose Cardboard, again, quoting Principal, what was his name? Principal, you just said his name, the guy from Mean Girls. We'll keep you here all night. Kaimani Burrell with another $2 donation. Thank you all. I appreciate it. And then Bipilot says, we can only hold them till 4, which is another quote. Principal Duval, thank you, Ash. Getting dehydrated here. All right. So let's try this again. I'm going to wrap up here. We have, who do we have? I always like to sign off by thanking everybody. It was Salty. It was Peter Pie like 3 times with channel memberships and buying his own Principal's office level membership. Seriously, let me know if I can ever do anything for you. If you ever need advice, or I may end up doing some other things for those upper level members. We had Kaimani, we had Spike Bebop, we had Salty, Peter Pie, Emery at the beginning also. Okay, so I think I'm finally ready to wrap up. Y'all have a good night. I appreciate it. This was a really fun stream, wasn't it? I'll try to do these at least once a week. If there's a certain night that works for you, I think the later times are better than the earlier times, maybe in the 7, 8, 9 o'clock realm. I'll try and do that. So thank you all. Thanks again to the donators. I hope y'all have a great night. I'm going to end for real this time. I really enjoyed it. Y'all have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow on my video on SpongeBob. If you're not a channel member, I look forward to seeing you on that video tomorrow on SpongeBob. See y'all. Have a great night. I'm going to stop streaming and go rest now. Y'all kept me up with the donations, but y'all have a great night. Thanks for watching the stream, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.